Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Mastis32210. This is my trike build. I want to take y'all through some of the new stuff that I've done since I've done my last video. If you notice down here, we got the tail lights. These reflectors aren't going to be here. These were originally where they were mounted. I'm going to just cut this little bracket off, kind of smooth it out a little. What I've done differently back here, if you notice in my last video, we had this here little, I think this is about a 1/2 inch little bar with this welded up. This originally what held up my whole license plate and all this back here, but I just didn't like it. It was also, I kind of cockeyed it when I welded it, kind of like that, and it just didn't look aesthetically appealing from the sideways view. But if you notice, when I was down at Turkey Rod Run, this is one of the metal brackets that I picked up. The good old Punisher, kind of remind me of my logo, so I went ahead and picked that up. If you notice, I got that welded up down here. Just got to clean these little welds up. Got the teeth all welded up. I'll just come back, knock these little welds down a little. Still got to fill weld these in, do some finish welding here, but that's as time comes. I'm just working on something here and there. But aesthetically, when you're looking at it, you know, it kind of holds everything a little bit better. And you know, if you get kind of, you know, get a little better ground view, you know, that look kind of nice welded up. And what I'll do is I'm gonna satin black that along with the frame. And what I'll do is sit back here about like 2 foot, tape everything off, and just kind of mist it with a very mist of white, so it just barely makes it stand out more on the bike. Let's see some of the other stuff I've gotten either bought for it or done. Let's start off. I don't know if I showed this sticker off last time. Thought it looked kind of cool on the tank, and I realized before I threw away the paper this came on, I noticed we had a little stars and bars little sticker, so I went ahead with a little decal, should I say. I just put that on the gas tank. This is one of the things down here under the gas tank. Or I'm sorry, it's under the gas tank on the frame. This is another one of the little metal cutout laser cut pieces I went ahead and picked up. Just tacked it up in place. Still, I need to just add a couple more good tack welds to it, just to make sure that it's not going to come loose. Where that actually came from was something else I picked up in Daytona at the Turkey Rod Run, which is actually, I had 2 of these. And this one is welded up right here on the side of the frame. Thought I'd add a kind of little retro artwork. If you notice, here's the same exact girl. All I did was I snipped it here and here and cut her loose, because it was just way too big to fit on there. And you can see how that looks. Kind of adds a little retro look, you know, kind of adds something to the frame right there. Oh, this is something else I wanted to show off. I was goofing around the other day, just sitting here goofing around. This is still the original tire that was on this frame when I received it. Just goofing around, gave it a little white wall using this new compound stuff I came across. We did white wall the tire out. This here is actually, I was at the auto parts store where a buddy of mine works, and I came across these on the clearance aisle, $3.75. This is a Barcelona red metallic by Duplicolor. It's actually a Toyota factory color, and then for that price, I kind of seen the color, and I was like, well, let's see how this looks. Took the original front rim, was all rusty, sanded it down, hung it up in the air, and you see, even I took the disc off and taped it off and gave that a little quick paint job. I don't think it came out bad. I've got 1 or 2 little nicks. There's a little one right there I gotta tape off and redo. That was from getting the tire back on after I put the new inner tube in, and success. It does have a little bit of dry cracking in it. I know I'm gonna have to replace it, so I didn't care about white walling it out. But you know, it's a shame that it has such tread, and you know, you can see all that tread on there, and this thing is just screwed. There's nothing. The dry rot got it, But for right now, you know, it kind of helps me put it in a roll-on chassis until I actually have to get in here and replace that. Also, something I didn't want to do, but I kind of had to, just to simplify things up. If you notice how much extra I got here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it, leave a little extra right here. This will zip tie. The little extra in this hose right here is kind of good. If you notice, unlike traditional motorcycles where the front brake is normally going to be on the right hand side, if I pull this across and weaved it around and came back up and got a traditional handle, it just wouldn't fit right. But on eBay I came across this for this brand new handle. I want to say it was less than 20 bucks with shipping and everything. This is actually made for some of the Chinese four-wheelers. This would actually run the rear brake, and I believe, just by kind of looking at this front hose going to the caliper, I think that's where that actually came from. Because like I was telling you on my original first video, is I'm not sure where this front end came from. I know somebody had took this front end and built the rest of the frame, and that's where it had stopped. So I don't know, that's when I received the frame. It was just a bare frame and that front end, and it was up to me to get it back into a riding chassis. But the cool thing is, being a trike, and since I'm just running a torque converter, this is just my neighborhood project, you know, street legal project. The one thing is cool, since I don't have actual gears to lock it down for right now, if you pull it in and push that down, you notice how this comes up forward. Well, what it does is it locks the handle back and gives me pressure to keep that front caliper locked down. So you know, that's gonna be kind of good. Excuse me guys, sorry about that. But you know, this will at least if I park in a parking spot at the local mini mart or wherever I take it to, at least this is like a parking brake. I originally had just took this off the other day when I installed this, and to put this mechanism back on. To release it, that's all it takes. I mean, it's simple. You just pull it in, push down, spring loaded, it comes forward. Like I said, to undo it, just pull in your handle, and there it goes. Also, if you notice, this is another switch. I picked this up also on eBay. It's a non-DOT off-road switch, but I don't see what the whole big deal is about non-DOT. It's going to do what I needed to do. It gives me a right turn signal, left, center is always off. So that does my turn signals. Here's a horn. I was going to put my air horn on here. I'm not particularly sure what I decided I'm going to do. I got an old air horn I'm not using from an old project, so we might just use this, but it'll give me a horn. And this is for headlight on and off. And what I was going to do, traditional motorcycles, for the most part, I know, crank them up, like all my old bikes, you crank them up, the headlight comes on, but to conserve power until I can get a different charging system put on this engine. From what I understand, the charging system on this will recharge the battery, but it only recharges for the power that you use to start the vehicle. So I want to change that out so it actually adds a lighting coil on this. But for right now, what I could do is start it up. If it's daytime, I'm not worrying about it. You know, I'll have my turn signal function. That's the main thing. I'll have my brake lights, you know. But as far as running lights and headlights, I could just turn everything on and off right here through the switch. Came with a cable, and the only messed up part I don't like, it came with the wires pre-stripped. I didn't like that. I prefer to strip them myself instead of having this headache. Excuse me one more time, guys. And I still have to go back up on my eBay and rewrite down what all these wires go to. I would have thought, you know, since the switch, you know, you kind of buy the switch, it would actually kind of included a diagram included in with the switch. But it just came in a little puffy envelope, and that's all I got. So, but at least I have the switch to, you know, to help mock up everything. Also, while I was doing a lot of digging through, I came across this, which this was actually on the original 72 Yamaha. If you look real close, there goes the good old Yamaha emblem. I was hoping to be able to reuse this, but this one's made to go on this side. So I don't know, we might just for safety, put one on here, or I might end up buying a pair, and just so we can have mirrors on this. But this is so far what I've gotten done, just goofing around since my last video. What we're getting ready to do today, I've got the original front indicator lights, and I believe these are just going to be these will just be turn signals. I wish it was a dual filament so we could have running lights and turn signals, but we're getting ready to go ahead to mount them right about here. Oh, I almost forgot. I was at Walmart the other day and I ended up finding this little bag. I figured it'd be kind of cool to mount it up here. Two things is definitely going to get done today. Gonna go ahead and make a bracket to mount these right up here, and either fix or remake this bracket because this is kind of getting on my nerves now. It just doesn't look right. Alright, first thing of order of business, let me we got my flat bar here. Let me get everything together and I'll show you what we're getting ready to do. Alright guys, this is the idea I come up with. If you notice, I just got some simple flat bar. I can't even find the exact width. I'm guessing this is like 1/2 inch. Little simple flat bar. What I've done, if you notice, I've got two holes drilled in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut this right here at these little black marks. This is 2 inches, and what it is just gonna be a flat tab that will bolt onto the it'll bolt right up onto the one of the triple trees, and what it'll do is space out my light a 1/2 inch, and when this is just becomes an individual little piece. What I'm gonna do on the back side, I'll come in and tack this little nut on, and this was for the original rear tail light, the rear turn signals, and what do you call it, little backup light. And what it is, it's got threads. It's got little threads on this end. It's pretty simple. With this little piece welded up on there, I still have the original nut that's on the turn signal light. And what my goal is to be able to basically screw the light on. When I have it in position, use the other nut to secure it down, you know, in place, and just basically I'll tighten this nut, twist it together, and it should hold the light exactly where I want it. It's something, just, I'm trying to keep things simple. There's no point in going completely crazy or buck wild. You know, if I had the machinery in here, I'd custom make all kind of brackets, especially a nice plasma cutter. Well, let me go ahead, get these cut out. I'll go ahead and get these tacked up, and I'll start mocking it up and kind of show you what I'm talking about. Alright guys, just went ahead, cut both little thin brackets, just rounded the edges off just a hair. I wish I would have centered this one up a little bit better, but hey, it's not really going to be seen. The whole goal, just keep everything simple. It's like my buddy Billy, the one who gave me the original frame and said have at it. If you can do something with it, go for it. It's like I was trying to tell him originally, you don't have to be some big bike shop out there. This is like, I get criticism all the time that I'm not a big bike shop. I'm not Orange County Choppers. I'm not Billy Lane. But you know what? Those guys had to learn just as well as I had to learn how to do stuff. Going back to this, so I gotta tell everybody, keep things simple. So like I said, a flat bracket, the little nut washer deal here, whatever you want to call this, because that's the first time I've ever seen one of these. Just simple, that's it. Weld it up. Now you got a place to screw the light here on the end. This will mount it to the front forks, and now you have a simple thing. Let me go ahead and tack this up, and I'll get right back with you. I'll show you the finished product. Alright guys, well this is basically, like I was saying, as far as the finished product. Basic, simple. This bolts to the triple tree. Take your light. Well, you can do this on or off the bike. Screw it on. It would actually set. There we go. It would set when this would be for the right side, but it would basically bolt just like that. Let me show you. I got the other one already bolted on just to check it out. Let me grab my camera off this tripod. this is basically right there. I don't know how it looks on the camera angle, but to me on mine it's perfectly straight, so it could be seen, and the light has adjustability whether I want to go up or down with it, but I'm gonna leave it just like that. The bracket still, of course, like with the rest of the bike, still has to be painted up and whatnot, but pretty well simple. Let's come around here, and the other one would go on right there. So that gives me to be compliant with DOT and their regulations. So I would have front marker lights. And since I'm over here working on the front end right now it's time to take this bracket off, and we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with this thing. It's time to either improve it or remake it. Definitely I want to keep the length of this bracket. I definitely want to keep the length here. I like how far out it sits, kind of gives that old retro look and gives me room to have my little front bag on there. So let me get this other light mounted up, and we'll take that off and go ahead and start messing with that. Alright guys, just sitting here goofing around. What I did was I took that round bar, that circle had the two washers, just welded up. What I did was I took that, threw it on this nice thick steel plate. Big sheet of it I have laying around. So I was just goofing around. I kind of like the round diameter, and what I was doing was, pardon me, I'm gonna cross front here. What I also did is I took, this is it's like the bottom mounting to my big headlight. What it does is have these two insulators that go on each side of this metal, and what it does is kind of cushion it. So what I did is also, besides drawing this up, took the bottom plate, stuck it on here, kind of traced it out, and I wanted to be able to have a little cushion for the headlight. And if you notice, the front is bent down because it's actually going to mount like that, and what it does kind of help straighten it up. Let me test. I know I got this hole correct. Let me make sure I got these two correct. I'll mount this up so we can kind of get an idea, and I'll see if I can show you all what the finished product's going to look like. And before I get any crazy comments, no, this is nowhere near done. Yes, it's got a little pitting on here from rust. The edges have to be cleaned up. This is just, it's kind of build it, check it out, make sure it works and functions properly, then go back and clean it up. Let me get this mounted up, and I'll be right back to y'all. Alright guys, well, this is what the finished piece is going to look like. Still got a little adjustability left in the headlight. But the headlight itself is now mounted more rigid, and definitely a lot stronger than that other one I had in there. It was kind of an artistic piece what I had in there at first. I like this one, it's alright. But the reason a lot of people are going to ask, well, why did I leave this round circle piece in there? And that's just in case I decided not to use this bag. I have a little skull, which, let me see if I can... He's right there, and you'll remember him from the original first video. He was on my jockey shifter. See if I can get, and that's basically what, well, there we go. Let's jerk this stupid tag off. But that's what the front end is basically going to look like. Got both of the turn signals, the front turn signal was mounted. They're not fully adjusted in there. There we go. Got both of them put in. Got the headlight mounted, and to you it looks like it's coming directly to you, but it's actually bent downward. Because of how high I had it mounted, I can undo the bolt at the bottom and adjust it up and down. Still, you know, it's time to goof around with it. Sorry for the shakiness of the camera, but there's a little bit better side view. Single little headlight, nothing fancy. I think it kind of definitely, like, to me, I was trying to go for artistic appeal, so I wanted it further away from the bars, kind of like the old 70s style choppers, how it kind of just hangs out there. Plus, if you notice how much it gives me room to have the bag, you know, this bag keeps cell phone in, wallet, keys, whatever. You know, if I decide to go for a neighborhood little run, I want to be able to have something on there. that I can hold just a little bit of gear, nothing major, and I definitely don't want to crowd it up with any kind of makeshift saddlebag. It still is, you know, it still is just a neighborhood toy, not, I don't know, might just be a neighborhood toy, might actually be on a freeway toy. We'll find out when I start playing with the gears on the rear. From what I understand, this thing could do up to 80 easily, so it just might be something I might take to work. Just an update on this too. Matter of fact, I'm calling it a day now. When I go in, I'm gonna call the lug man. He's a fabricator of aluminum wheel spacers and adapters, so I'm about to give him a call and find out what it's going to take to make 2 adapters for back here to adapt it from this 4-wheeler rear end to the golf cart tires or the rims, but those aren't the rims I'm going to use. Those are just be for mock-up. There's a nice beautiful set of 12-inch rims with a nice very low profile DOT tire I would like to get on here, so that way at least I have a decent front tire. I'll have some new tires on the back and we'll go from there. But it's just another quick look as she comes together. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing something right. Something's coming down. Hell, if you just don't like the whole project, just give me a thumbs down. Alright? Well, thank you so much, guys. Please rate and subscribe and comment.